You send an email you spent 45 minutes proofreading. 3 minutes later, you get a reply. It's not angry. It's not firing you. It just says, "Let's discuss this." No exclamation point, no smiley face. Just a terrifying, neutral abyss of text. Your heart rate immediately spikes to a level usually reserved for skydiving mishaps. Your stomach drops through the floor and settles somewhere near the Earth's core. You start mentally packing your desk, canceling your Netflix subscription, and wondering if you can survive in the woods on moss and rainwater. By the time you actually talk to the person, you have lived through 7 different catastrophic timelines in your head. Spoiler alert, they just wanted to clarify a date. If this sounds like your Tuesday afternoon, let's pump the brakes. It is not because you are dramatic. It is not because you are a narcissist who needs constant praise. And it is certainly not because you are weak. Your brain is simply reacting to a very specific biological false alarm that society completely misunderstands. Here is the uncomfortable truth about how the world views you versus reality. Society operates on this bizarre assumption that feedback is a gift and that having thick skin is the ultimate virtue. We are told to take it on the chin or roll with the punches. The people who say this are usually the human equivalents of a concrete wall. Durable, sure, but completely lacking in nuance. They look at your reaction to criticism and label it as oversensitive or fragile. They tell you to toughen up, as if you can just go into your settings menu and toggle a switch. This is gaslighting, pure and simple. They are judging a high-precision instrument for not acting like a sledgehammer. You are not broken. You're just built different. While they are blundering through social interactions with the emotional range of a teaspoon, you are picking up on microfrequencies they don't even know exist. You aren't failing at being them. You are succeeding at being a highly calibrated you. Let's get into the mechanics of why a simple critique feels like a physical assault. It all comes down to a part of your brain called the Anterior Cingulate Cortex. Think of the ACC as the brain's catastrophic event coordinator. Its job is to process physical pain, like burning your hand on a stove or stubbing your toe on the coffee table. However, in your brain, this region has a design quirk. It processes social rejection and criticism through the exact same neural pathway as physical injury. When someone says, "I don't like your idea," the average person's brain registers it as a mild annoyance, like a mosquito bite. Your brain registers it as getting stabbed in the chest by a gladiator. You aren't being dramatic. You are in actual, physiological pain. Furthermore, your amygdala, think of it as a smoke detector that is way too sensitive to toast, hijacks your logic center before you can rationalize the comment. It screams, "Threat!" and dumps a cocktail of cortisol into your bloodstream. Cortisol is the stress hormone, but think of it like drinking 10 shots of bad espresso immediately after waking up. It puts your entire system on high alert for a tiger that isn't there. The math just works differently for you. Your biological hardware interprets a frown as a threat to your survival, and frankly, you can't just breathe your way out of a survival instinct. But here is where it gets interesting. Evolution is ruthless. It doesn't keep traits around unless they serve a massive purpose. If being sensitive to criticism was truly a weakness, your ancestors would have been eaten or outcompeted thousands of years ago. Instead, they survived. Why? Because this trait isn't a defect. It is a high-functioning quality control system. You are the sentinel. In a tribe, the person who doesn't care about feedback is the one who accidentally eats the poisonous berries or offends the neighboring warlord. You, on the other hand, are obsessed with calibration. You care deeply about getting it right. This sensitivity is actually a hyper-vigilance for social cohesion and accuracy. You are the one who notices the tiny crack in the plan before the bridge collapses. You are the one who senses the shift in the room's energy before the fight breaks out. While the thick-skinned people are blindly marching off cliffs, you are analyzing the terrain. You aren't bad at criticism. You are a perfectionist for harmony and competence. You hold yourself to a standard that most people don't even know exists. This pattern recognition machine in your skull didn't just appear out of nowhere. It is likely an ancient survival adaptation. Go back to the caveman days. If you were rejected by the tribe, you didn't just feel sad. You died. Alone. Frozen. Eaten by wolves. Social exclusion was a death sentence. Your brain is running legitimate, albeit outdated, survival software that equates "your boss doesn't like the font choice" with "you are being exiled to the wilderness." You have retained the primal ability to read the room to stay alive. You likely learned early on, maybe in childhood, that safety came from anticipating the needs and moods of others. You became the diplomat, the adjuster, the one who could smooth over the rough edges of a chaotic environment. You learned that if you could predict the criticism and fix it before it was spoken, you were safe. Wild, right? You aren't anxious. You are evolutionarily prepared for a social winter that never comes. So, what does this look like in your modern life? It manifests in some hilarious and exhausting micro-habits. Scenario: you send a text to a friend and they reply with K. Just the letter K. No period, no emoji. To a normal person, this means okay. To you, this is a declaration of war. You spend the next 3 hours forensic analyzing your previous messages to find the exact moment you ruined the friendship. You have probably apologized to inanimate objects when you bumped into them because your instinct to smooth things over is faster than your visual processing. You replay conversations from 2018 in the shower, thinking of the perfect comeback or the better way you could have phrased that one sentence. You are the only person who feels a wave of relief when plans get canceled because it means there is 0% chance of you doing something wrong socially that evening. Your furniture is judging you less than you are judging yourself. Here is your permission slip. Stop trying to grow rhino skin. It is never going to happen, and frankly, it would look terrible on you. The world doesn't need more oblivious bulldozers. It needs more high-resolution radars. You are allowed to need a moment to process feedback. You are allowed to say, "I need to digest that," instead of forcing a smile while your insides are screaming. Accept that your initial reaction will always be pain. That is just your biology doing its job. But know that the pain is a false signal. It is a smoke alarm going off because you lit a candle, not because the house is burning down. You are not broken. You are a specialist in a world of generalists. Now, if this video just explained your entire internal monologue, don't scroll. The next video explains why your brain refuses to turn off at night, even when you are exhausted.